Hey everyone, I'm here to give you a market update. We have, as always, a lot to update, and I would say more to update today in this crazy market than ever before. A lot of good information that I've received that I'm going to pass on today in some meetings that I've been in, and just kind of let you know what's going on in our firm. So let's get to it since there's so much to recover. Residential is where I'm going to start. Whether you're in commercial or not, you still own a house. And I thought it'd be really good to talk about residential because residential is dealing with some dynamics that are unknown. Nobody can tell you exactly what's going to happen in the residential real estate market over the next few months. And what we're dealing with is the pressures of high interest rates, high inflation being higher prices in real estate, values of homes. And how long is this going to last? Is it going to correct? That's the question I'm asked all the time. Is the housing market going to correct? When is it going to correct? When is it going to be a good buying opportunity? And I'll tell you right now, the consensus is out there, this is the new. It's going to stay this way. We don't expect to see any big correction, if any correction at all, even with the interest rate environment that we're in. So what is happening right now in residential real estate? Interest rates have increased from December, they were 3.1%. You could get a 30-year mortgage at. Now it is over 5.5% that a 30-year mortgage is going for as far as an interest rate. So that's a borrowing cost increase of well over 50%, and that lowers the ability of a buyer to be able to buy. And then at the same time, we have prices going up as high as 35%. Seen in Rockwall County, it was 31%. Collin County, 35%. Just unbelievable price appreciation, inflation in prices, and then your borrowing costs are going up. So in a normal market, that would immediately start the shift, which we are in a shift right now. How long is this shift going to last, and what exactly is this shift going to do? Nobody knows, because the Dallas DFW Metroplex has never seen anything like this, because we have another dynamic. We have a fundamental supply and demand issue. In other words, we have a huge demand for housing in North Texas, and property for that matter. I'll talk about commercial in just a minute, but huge demand because so many businesses are moving here, which means people are moving here because they're relocating from the Northwest and Northeast, or Western Coast and Eastern Coast, because of tax issues, lockdown issues, all of that. COVID really just put that was already happening before COVID, but COVID just really put it in high gear. California was, I think, number one in net loss population last year at 270,000 people lost from California last year. That is a huge number. Think about how many neighborhoods that is. That's going somewhere else. That's just one state. I think it was Massachusetts was 2. I think New York was 3. And then you got Illinois, I think was 4. And so all of those areas people are just in high exodus, mass exodus. And North Texas, the whole state of Texas is seeing the demand for that housing. But North Texas especially, and Texas there is the question mark. So when are the California, Illinois, Massachusetts, and New York buyers going to get tired of paying the 30% increase? So at some point, they get tired of it as well. And we're seeing that. We're beginning to see signs of buyer fatigue. So that's the good news. but not enough yet. We still have super low inventories. There's just not enough inventory. We've got to see that inventory build. And in order for that to happen, we have to see the buyer get fatigued. That's what's happening. They're tired of making offers well over asking, not getting the property, and we need to see prices get out of control. And so we're beginning to see prices get out of control. So what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing, if you're looking for a home, you're going to start seeing price decreases, but it's because people are asking $1 million for a 2,000 square foot home here in the North Texas Metroplex. And so we're beginning to see unrealistic expectations from the sellers. So they're pricing them too high, putting them too high. And that's what we need, though, along with buyer fatigue, buyers saying, I'm done. I'm actually looking for a home personally. And I'm looking at these homes and I'm thinking, no way, I'm not even going to go look at this home. And that's what other buyers are doing. We were having a meeting with our firm this morning, just discussing the markets and everything, and everybody's buyer is just fatigued. And then at the same time, we're seeing all these listings come on the market. We're going into the spring, summer selling season. So people are listing their homes, but they're just listing them for ridiculous prices. So that's going to allow the inventory to start building, should allow it. That pivot usually happens pretty fast. That's the question mark. How long is it going to take before we begin to see inventories build? I want to say it's going to be between 60 and 90 days. As short as 30 days, but between 60 and 90 days. And what is that going to look like? Is it going to look like a big correction, which is what you would normally see in this environment, inflationary and high interest rates? You normally would see a correction in prices. Because of the demand issue, I don't think we're going to see that. I think when things get back to a more normalized growth rate pricing, we're going to begin to see the buyers come back into the market. And so the key thing is they don't need to come back in too soon and then cause it all over again. So that's the question mark. How long is this going to last? And are you going to have a buying opportunity? You obviously have a selling opportunity, but where can you go to relocate to? I, as a home buyer myself, am having to come to grips with I'm going to have to pay higher prices. I was at a breakfast at the Dallas Country Club. Really neat event by Stuart Title they had put on, and they were talking about the market. And this guy was up there talking, and it was good information, just talking about construction cost. Even if you're looking at new construction, whether it's commercial or residential, construction costs aren't coming down. That's just the consensus. Just like home prices are not coming down. So this is where we're going. So as you're preparing to make a move in the next year or two, whatever, you have to consider things. So what are things going to look like in the next year? Next year, I would say we're going to have same prices and higher interest rates, probably even higher prices than where we are now. Are they going to be 30% higher like what we're seeing this year from last year? No, I don't think so. But your borrowing costs are likely going to be higher because there's supposed to be 5 more interest rate hikes to get all this inflation under control. So the only thing that would rebuttal that is if we go into recession and we lose jobs. That was another thing this guy was talking about at the breakfast I was at, and it was really good information that this is more, we had a GDP loss last quarter. Technically could go into recession this quarter if it's a negative number as well and be quote unquote a recession. But the difference between if we deal with a recession right now and then what a 2009-08 recession was is the job loss, or the 2020 recession from the COVID. Millions of jobs are lost. We're not seeing jobs lost. It's just going to be what they call a paper recession. So that's why I think home prices, unless we have a war nuke fired off or something, we're going to see them remain stable in this area. We're really insulate. I think some places in the nation are going to see some different things. So point is get used to the new normal. And I hate to tell you that. Nobody wants to hear that. And obviously, we want to sell our house at the high price, but The buying, I don't want to hear it. I gotta go buy it. And I'm having to tell myself that. I've got to be ready to pay more for a home than what I want to pay for a home. And I'm in real estate, and there's no way around it. And I've thought of every way I can think about it, and there's no way around it. So it's ultimately wait for some inventory to build. Obviously, you want to get some inventory. You don't want to compete too much. I think we're going to get some opportunities towards the end of the year. Are we going to get them to buy at a lower price? No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Hope you understand that. That's more of the residential update. Going to commercial, DFW was ranked 4th in the nation for office building, 4th in the nation for office building, with almost 8 million square feet of office being built. The thing that's going on is so many businesses are coming to this area. While COVID created a new thing for office as far as making it almost obsolete in a lot of areas, that's not the case here because we have so much demand for business here. North Texas had a record-breaking quarter last quarter, $13 billion in apartment and industrial. We lead the nation in both of those. And sales, it's just unbelievable. Obviously, we can't build enough Class A apartments. We can't build enough apartments, period. And so in commercial, where do you look for the opportunity? I think in even the breakfast I was at, it was more of a commercial event. They were talking about a couple of opportunities. One being there's an opportunity in multifamily, but it's not Class A. Because the problem is that finding multifamily to develop at Class A is very difficult. But where they see the biggest opportunity is C and D properties, because there haven't been C and D properties built in decades. But there's still a huge demand for C and D properties. And the land doesn't support building C-type properties because land values are too high, so the economics don't make sense after construction. So, for you, Mr. Multifamily Investor looking to try to build that Class A, maybe looking in that C and D, and you say, well, I don't want to pay a 4 or 5% cap. Well, you're paying 4 or 5% cap now, but we know where rents are going in the next few years. So that's just not my opinion. That's what the consensus is out there, where if you want to be looking for an opportunity in multifamily, that's the biggest opportunity in multifamily. 2 is industrial. That's what everything's online. Everything online has to do with logistics and space for server rooms, for all of our web stuff, all of our online ordering. Everything that we've gone to in the North Texas area is just a mecca for data centers, and distribution and logistics is growing and growing and growing into the biggest in the nation. So in DFW, we're ranked number 3 in the nation for residential and commercial new construction. And so I end with this, is that I've been saying for probably the last year the pendulum has shifted. I emphasize that. I was at a breakfast with lot smarter folks than me and people that I'm leaning on, and in everything that we read and know is that the pendulum has shifted for North Texas. It will never be the same. We're going to continue to see this growth. The jobs are here. The people are going to come here. They want to be here in this environment. And so looking for that big buying opportunity, barring some catastrophe worldwide, there's not going to really be one for a while. And not that there's not ever going to be one. We know there will be, but will it be back at median? I want to show you this. Is the buying opportunity going to be at what we had a year ago in prices? You can see all counties up 32.7% on average. The average home price for Collin County was $550,000 now, was $370,000 last year. Are we going to get back to that level at some point? $370,000 in Dallas County, was 305. 480 in Denton County was 375. Are we going to get back to those lower levels a year ago or even 2 years ago? And we're 60% above where we were 2 years ago. Likely not, guys. But the good thing is that we are in a thriving economy, and we're fortunate here. We're insulated. Just like, for example, we didn't lose many jobs in the COVID era whenever the whole nation shut down, and we weren't damaged near as bad. So that's the good news, and I just leave you with that is the market update. Timing, I would wait just a little bit. If you're going to buy, I think you're going to have more of an opportunity. Commercial investment is this is where it is. This is where it is. C and D family, if you're looking at multifamily, that's where the opportunity is. And if you guys need any services from M&D Real Estate, we would love to help you. We're a full service, 5-star firm doing commercial, residential transactions, and then full service property management. And we would love the opportunity to serve you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.